What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here today on Narcissism 101, Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. All right, so before we get into what we're going to talk about today, if you want a one-on-one session, you can email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send me a text message at 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you want to even give a call, just send a text to that number and just let me know that you want to talk about your narcissistic experience. Then I'll be more than happy to give you the help that you need, and be happy to give you the advice tailored to your situation. So, what we are going to be talking about today, guys, is many are called, but few are chosen. That's right. Many are called, but few are chosen. So, the narcissistic relationship, the narcissistic experience, rather, it's a very tough and it's a very challenging one. It's probably the most challenging relationship that you never thought that you would ever be a part of, because narcissists, they fly under the radar. They know what they're doing. And if you don't know it by now, you should know by now. Narcissists know exactly what they're doing. And the truth is that the narcissist that you encountered, maybe it was your sibling, your parent, maybe it was your spouse, maybe it was your boyfriend, maybe it was your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your aunt, your uncle, your teacher, your boss. Whoever the narcissist was in your life, they had manipulated people way before they met you. They've been doing this all their life, but the truth is that you were not supposed to figure it out. You didn't think to this day that somebody could want to destroy somebody else's life on purpose. You didn't think to this day that somebody could have so much anger, so much disdain that they would want to go to great lengths to take everything from that person. You didn't know that people like this existed. And the truth is that you weren't supposed to figure it out, and that's why the title of my video today is Many Are Called, But Few Are Chosen. You were supposed, as far as God is concerned, you were supposed to figure that out, because you were called, because you are a chosen one. And chosen ones that are chosen by God, we are placed on assignments. And when I say assignments, what I mean by that is that we aren't challenged in the way that many people in the world are challenged. See, when we go through the narcissistic experience, when we go throughout our lives in general, we are challenged to our core, to the point where it's make or break, where things will either make us or they will break us. And majority of those situations, we don't even know if we're going to make it out. We don't have all the answers, and we start questioning ourselves. Am I the problem? Did I do something wrong? Am I crazy? Like, we start thinking all these thoughts, and these thoughts are normal. These thoughts are very normal thoughts, because we're human beings, right? And we're supposed to have these questions like, am I crazy? Did I do something? We're supposed to have these thoughts because they're normal. And so when it comes down to the narcissistic experience, though, however, you were chosen to become part of this narcissistic experience, because this narcissistic experience, it's not like anything else. It's not like a normal relationship where, the relationship doesn't work out and you just say, okay, we'll just part, and then we will just part on good terms. Everything will be good after that. No, no, no. That's not how this works. This works like the fact that the narcissist, once they take everything away from you, once they have figured out who you are, once they have stolen everything from you, they just up and they just leave you as if nothing happened. And they don't even have to think twice about what they did to you, because they knew from day one that they were going to do that to you. That's why throughout the body of the narcissistic experience, the narcissist was always watching you. They were watching how you talked. They were watching how you walked. They were watching the words that you said, how you reacted to some of the things that they did to you, how they were seeing how much friends you had, how much family you had. They were seeing how much money that you had, because what narcissists love is money, and they love your money more than their money. They believe that they're entitled, because they believe that they're entitled to your money. They believe that they can blow through all through their financial resources, and then once all their resources are gone, they can take from your resources, because they feel as though they're entitled. Narcissists have a sense of entitlement where they feel as though they should get everything and they don't need to give anything. I hope that makes sense so far. So when it comes down to it, You're a chosen one. You're a chosen one because you made it out of the narcissistic experience. You made it out of the relationship. You figured it out. You weren't supposed to figure it out, but you figured it out. And knowing this, you are what is called a chosen one. See, many are called. So if you were called to do this, if you were just a called person, more than likely you would not figure it out. You wouldn't even make it out. There are many people that went through the narcissistic experience and they're no longer with us. Many of them have passed away. Many of them have passed on. Many of them are still here, but they're stuck. They can't get out. They can't fathom that the person that they knew for, let's say, 30 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, they were maybe married to this person, had kids with this person, had a business with this person. They thought that this person had their best interests at heart, that this person wanted what was best for them. But what they didn't realize is that this person was their enemy. This person was someone who wanted to kill them, that didn't want them to figure it out. So if you were just a called person, like a person that was just called to this experience, then more than likely you wouldn't have made it, you wouldn't make it out. You wouldn't figure out that this person was actually a narcissist. You would be stuck. And most likely you would be so stuck that you sometimes sound like the narcissist because because the narcissist molded you and they knew that that you weren't going anywhere, right? So you have to remember something else as well. The narcissist has a sixth sense. And when I say sixth sense, what I'm referring to is that the narcissist knows, they know when they have a target. They know when that person is going to stay stuck. They know whether that person is going to figure them out. They also know people who they cannot mess with, because the narcissist, like I said, they have a sixth sense and they know whether this person is a dangerous person, whether this is a person who will call them out. The narcissist knows all this by studying people, by looking at people, by watching people, right? So you have to also keep in mind too that with the narcissist, they do the same cycle with everybody. And I talked about this narcissistic playbook, how they all do the same playbook, which goes love bomb stage, where everything seems amazing, everything seems too good to be true. That's because it is too good to be true. And where you feel as though you're on cloud nine, the victim, the target. You feel as though you just met the person and you're asking yourself, where's this person been all my life? Why didn't I meet this person sooner? Why didn't I marry this person sooner? Why didn't I start this business with this person sooner? Why am I just finding this person? Well, the truth is that you're about to find out that this person is nothing but fool's gold. They're a faker. They're a criminal. They're a bully, right? I made a video on narcissistic bullies. You should watch that. And that this person is going to destroy your life sooner rather than later. Then, after the love bomb stage comes the devaluation stage, where everything you did well in the love bomb stage, now it goes that you can't do anything. All those things you did right, now it's all those things you're doing wrong, right? Let's say that you're a really good cook. Let's say that you cooked for the family, you cleaned, you paid the bills, you dressed well, you always smelled good, you took care of yourself. And now the narcissist, now that they have you where they want you, now that they have you in the devaluation stage, which is most times the longest part of the relationship, the devaluation stage. It could last years, it could last a decade, it could last 2 months. Who knows? It doesn't matter. The point is that the devaluation stage is where nothing you do is good enough. You can't cook properly. You can't clean properly. You can't pay the bills. You don't have enough money. You know what I mean? Nothing is good. Looks good in this part of the relationship, because that's by design. That's the way that the narcissist sees things, right? So once that devaluation stage kicks in, that's when it gets closer to the ending of the relationship, which is known as the discard. The discard is when the narcissist just ends it just like that, out of left field, and you don't see it coming because you didn't think that the person who professed that they loved you from the get-go, that they could just out of nowhere just end the relationship just like that, just up and leave. And when they up and leave, most times they go off to the new supply, which is known as your replacement, the person who the narcissist had been talking to behind your back without you even knowing it. Or whether it's that person, that came to your house, you know what I mean, when you guys were supposed to be spending time together, and this person just comes out of nowhere, this girl or this guy, they just come out of nowhere, and you're wondering, who is this person? Why are they in my house? Well, that's your replacement, to be blunt, right? And the other thing too is that the narcissists, they knew that they were going to do this from the get-go. They always knew that, right? So guys, keep in mind, so we're talking about many are called but few are chosen, right? Many people, when they go through this narcissistic experience, many people don't realize what is happening. Many people don't know that this person who turns out to be a narcissist wants to destroy their lives. Many people can't fathom that. Many people can't wrap their heads around that. And that's why when it comes down to it, guys, you are chosen. If you made it out and you made it out in one piece and you are still living your best life, or you're on the path to living your best life, if that is all happening for you, that means that you were chosen. You're a chosen one. And I can tell you right now, it's good to be it's really challenging to be a chosen one, but you get the rewards of being a chosen one, because that means that your salvation is secure, and that anything that you encounter that's a challenge, that you will make it through. And the narcissist does not want you to make it through. They believe that they will always have a handle on you, right? They're master manipulators. They've been doing this from the beginning of time. But it's just now that many people, see, I made a video before on the fact that narcissism has always been around, and it has been. It's always been around. But the truth is that nowadays what has changed is the advent of social media, the cell phone, and the fact that the narcissist can get supply from literally anything and anyone, from all around the globe. It doesn't have to just be in their specific community. They can get it from all around the globe. See, what's changed now is that before, in the beginning of time, like back then, what happened was that most people stayed within their communities. We all stayed within our communities. We didn't leave unless we really had to. But now what's happened, see, is that it's become so widened that now people, they go outside of their communities. And what's happening now is that a lot more people are starting to speak up. A lot more people are realizing that they do have a voice. And a lot of people now are figuring out that there is toxicity, that people are demons in human form, that there's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing walking around wanting to destroy other people's lives. That's what's happening now. It's that people are speaking up. They're realizing that throughout their whole entire existence, throughout their lives up until this point, they've been abused, that they've been taken advantage of, and at the hands of the narcissist. And the narcissist knows what they are doing. They know exactly what they're doing, because they've been doing this all their lives. I mentioned to many people I talk to that narcissists, it's like a full-time job for them. They do this 24/7. They're always looking for the next person that they're going to manipulate. That's why when you are in the relationship with the narcissist, and it doesn't have to be a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, it doesn't have to be that. It can be your parents, it can be, your boss, it could be anyone literally, right? Because narcissists, they all come in many different shapes and sizes. They speak different languages. They're of all different races. It's not just one race that does it more than the other. But what I'm saying is that when it comes down to it, narcissists knows exactly what they're doing. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It can very well be your sibling. The fact that you always gave to your sibling, right? And they always said, I'll pay you back, thank you for having my back. But then you turn around, they're nowhere to be found. Or you ask them and they say, I don't feel like I should have to pay you back. We're family. And even though I said that, now you're wondering, can I actually trust this person? Well, they know exactly what they're doing because they've done it to more than one person. Maybe they did it to your other sibling. Maybe they did it to your parents. Maybe they did it to their boss. Maybe they did it to their coworker, their colleague, or the person. Narcissists do this all the time, right? That's what we're trying to get you guys to understand, that narcissists, they all play by the same playbook. They all do the same exact things to everybody, right? But just know that you are a chosen one. The fact that you're watching my video right now, you are a chosen one. You were chosen for a reason. God chose you for a reason, because he knew that up until this point that he has a plan for you still. That's why you're still here. That's why you're watching this video. That's why, and thank you so much for being here. If this is your very first video you're watching, thank you so much for being here. It's so good to have you on my channel, Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code. What I'm saying here is that you were chosen for a reason. And that reason, I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what plans God has for you. But I know that he has a plan for you, and that's why you're here. And just know that Because you encounter the narcissist, just know that the narcissist doesn't have anything on you. The narcissist is more scared of you than you are of them. I just want to let you know that. They're more scared of you than you are of them, because the narcissist knows that the reason why they destroyed your life, they wanted to destroy you, the reason why they targeted you is because they saw that you had something that they wanted. They saw, and it doesn't even have to be good looks. Maybe you weren't even that good looking. Maybe you had money. Maybe you had a nice house. Maybe you had a big family. Maybe you had nice cars. Maybe you had a really good job that paid you X amount of dollars a year. Who knows what it was? But the truth is that the narcissist saw something in you that they saw that they could take from you. That's why they targeted you. That's why they see everybody as opportunities, because they see what they want. And once they get what they want, they no longer want it. That's why they end relationships just like that, because they know that people have the potential of figuring them out. And the narcissist fears being figured out. The narcissist fears also being abandoned. Those are the two big things the narcissist fears the most, is abandonment and being figured out. That's why they need to always have somebody else on the hook behind your back. Because if you figure them out, they need to know that they have someone to go to, because they can't be alone. They don't want to be abandoned, because they've experienced a lot of abandonment issues within their throughout their life, throughout their childhood, throughout their whole life. They experience abandonment, and they don't want to be abandoned. So they need to have somebody else to regulate them, because they can't regulate themselves. They can't do it all by themselves. They can't be by themselves and say, I really did a number on that person's life. They can't do any of that, because they know that they do that, that means they have to go back in time and think about all the other people's lives that they destroyed and blew up. So just know this, guys. You were chosen for a reason. The fact that you're here today, you are chosen for a reason, and you are going to go far. So don't worry about the smear campaign. Don't worry about the blame shifting. Don't worry about the object constancy, the financial abuse, the emotional abuse. Don't worry about any of that. Because the truth is that the narcissist knows that they do this to you because they're weak to their core. They don't have what you have. That's why they need to do these things, because they know that they aren't built like you. They don't think the way that you think. Right? That's why they need to do these things, because they know to their core that they're empty. They know to their core that they're nothing. Right? That's why they need to do these things, because they know that people have the potential of figuring them out and abandoning them. Right? And they also know that people can expose them too. Right? That's why they need to administer the smear campaign, because the smear campaign, and again, the smear campaign, I hate it the most out of all the tactics that the narcissist dishes out. I hate the smear campaign, because I hate the fact that somebody can talk bad behind your back and you're nowhere around to defend yourself against the allegations, the false allegations that they're spreading around about you to people that you don't even know about, people who you've never met are hearing lies about you. I hate that, right? But the reason why the narcissist does this is because they know that if you were to expose them, they know that if you were to figure them out, that you have the potential to tell the truth about what they did to you. And so they need to have a one-up on you. They need to spread lies about you, because they know that you can expose them with the truth. So the fact that they nearly destroyed you, the fact that you encountered a narcissistic experience, the fact that you went through it and now you're out of it, that is a blessing in disguise. Did you want to go through it? No, you didn't. Did I want to go through it? No, I didn't want to go through it, right? But the truth is that there's a reason why you had to go through that, right? Because God saw something in you that nobody else did, right? And so you had to go through that. Even if you tried to end the relationship, let's say, if you told the narcissist and from the get-go, I don't think it's a good idea we be in a relationship anymore. Even if you did do that, I can tell you right now that it would have been much worse. Why would it have been much worse? Because the narcissist knows that because you're abandoning them, because you're leaving them, they know that they can't be alone. They know that they need to have a one up on you because it makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel like they've won against you, right? It makes them feel like they've accomplished something in life by destroying somebody else's life. So just know that if you tried to end the relationship, which probably you did, probably throughout the body of the relationship, you said, I don't think that it's going to work out. Something just feels off. And I guarantee you, once you did that, the narcissist tried to guilt trip you and say something to the effect of, so what, you don't think I'm good enough for you? I guarantee you that they said something like that. And that was meant to guilt trip you, to make you feel less than, to make you feel as though you couldn't live without them, when in truth, you could live without them. You didn't need them, but they needed you, right? So just know the fact that you went through the narcissistic experience is a blessing in disguise, and that there's something much better out there for you, right? So I understand that you're probably struggling right now, and the fact that you probably just figured out that the person you were dealing with was a narcissist, whether it was your boss, whether it was your colleague, your neighbor, your parents, your mom or your dad, your siblings, your spouse, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend. Maybe you just figured this out, and I'm so sorry that you had to figure out this way. But the truth is, just know that you are special, that you are a chosen one. The fact that you're still here, you are a chosen one, and you've made it this far for a reason. It didn't have to end up that way, but it did. And you're a special person for that reason, okay? So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me here today at Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. If you want a one-on-one session, again, you can email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com. If you want to call, just send a text to that number and just let me know that you want to talk about your narcissistic experience, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Subscribe to the channel. Send this video to someone who you think could use the wisdom, could use the knowledge. And put a comment down below if you can relate to what I'm talking about. And yeah, I hope to see you on the next video. So thank you so much for being here, and take care. Thank you.